Hi, I'm Michael Jotsky. I'm the Southeast Territory Manager for Western Green. I'm also a technical manager for them. Western Green is comprised of three companies. We are comprised of North American Green, Western Excelsior, and East Coast Erosion Control. We are the largest manufacturer of erosion blankets and other products in the United States. So I want to talk to you about our new product, the WattleFence. It is a sediment control device. Sediment control devices are usually used as the last line of defense. Sometimes they're used for point source applications too, but a lot of times it's the perimeter control type applications that they're being used for. Usually straw wattles and silt fence are kind of the common products that are being used, although they don't always function as well as we hoped. Such as straw wattles, a lot of times because they are filled with degradable fill, as they degrade, they shrink and they lose their effectiveness. And a lot of times it can be very quickly. Straw wattles can, lose their height very rapidly and not really protect the site for the needed period of time. Other products such as Excelsior logs and compost stalks also degrade as well, not as fast as straw wattles, but they do. Problem with silt fence is that not only are you having to install it, you're also having to go back and uninstall it when you're done. Same with a lot of those wattles and other products because they have plastic netting, so you have to go and remove that netting when you're done, which you then have to pay to dispose of, which is another cost. So again, it causes issues that we are trying to avoid in the marketplace. So we came up with our new product called the WattleFence. So it is 100% biodegradable. It is made of jute fiber, coconut fiber, and wood. So here's the back side of it. You can see you have your vertical filtration device there, and then you have your apron in the front of it, which allows you not to have to trench it in. There's these wood slats on the back which help to give it support, and it gives you a nice point of contact to be able to stretch against your wood stakes. So on the front side, you can see the water will be passing through this from the front to the back, going through the coconut filter system there. It's 9 inches high. That's your nominal height. Each roll is 100 foot long. Your apron, again, is 6 inches, which will be fastened with some kind of fastener like a sod staple or a fabric pin. And then your wood stakes would go behind it. The wood stakes can get installed per application, anywhere from 1.5 to 4 to 5 feet. On a point source, channel application, of course, the spacing is going to be closer. Perimeter control, you're going to have that spacing further apart. On the inside, you have your coconut fleece that is wrapped by that jute fabric. So that jute fabric, the openings are a little bit more open, allows the water to pass through it quickly, but then it slows down through the coconut fleece and it's able to capture all those smaller particles. But the system allows you to filter very quickly, but still very effectively. So in our testing that we did our over testing of this product at TRR Environmental, which is a certified lab in South Carolina. They performed 2 ASTM tests on it, D7351 and D5141. And what we found was that it had a 95% soil retention effectiveness. So in the graph, you can see the blue line is the sediment load increasing as the time of the test trials ran, and the pink line shows you how much sediment was captured. So you can see it captured most of it. On this chart, you can see kind of which particles it's capturing. It's capturing most of the large particles, of course. Some of the very small particles are passing through it, but any product does that. Just WattleFence does it as well. There's only a certain amount of material you can capture. Small particles you just can't grab with these types of products. If you need to, you can add polymer on the other side of this to be able to grab those. In most cases, to meet regulation, you won't need that. This product will be good enough. So here we show that the WattleFence does reduce the turbidity just as effectively as WattleFence. That's in the chart on the right in the green. But if you look at the flow rate for WattleFence is about 30 gallons per minute, where the flow rate on the WattleFence is only about 15, or a little bit less than that, which means that you're going to get much bigger ponds behind that WattleFence, which can cause other issues. The WattleFence is still slowing the water down enough that it's not going to cause an issue with real erosion, but it slows it down enough to be able to collect it and then convey it on. And that's another reason why it doesn't have to be as high, because it can filter all of it quick enough that you don't have to have that extra volume to wait for that material to be captured and filtered slowly. So the major applications that this is used in is perimeter control is the first. Of course, any job site, you're usually going to have some type of perimeter control. This is a great option, especially in environmental sensitive areas. You can use this and will not, allow any particles, plastic, microplastics into the land around it. You can leave it, and it will 100% naturally degrade. Channel dissipation is another great one. A lot of times we see straw bales or core logs being used here, and they just don't do a good job of making intimate contact with the soil, and a lot of times you'll get rills underneath it, and they basically become ineffective. Here with the apron, the way it is, we're able to get that contact and eliminate those rills from forming underneath it, and it will function the way you want it to function. Slowing down the water enough, but still filtering it. Same with slope interruption. It's going to slow that water down so that you don't get your rill erosion, but will not allow the sediment to pass through it. Especially on this type of application, steep slope, you don't want to have to go back up and remove whatever sediment device you have installed. So you can just leave that there. The lifespan of WattleFence is 24 to 36 months. So plenty of time for vegetation established, give you plenty of couple growing seasons to be able to get your vegetation to be able to withstand the slope or the forces coming down that slope. Another application is drain protection. So it won't work on hard surfaces like asphalt and concrete, but anywhere where there's a drain around dirt, you can definitely do that. Or similar application would be stockpile, to wrap this around your stockpile. So here's a video of an installation we did at the Auburn University at their field day. It shows the WattleFence being used in a channel. It's 10 foot wide at the bottom, 3-to-1 side slopes. They were pumping about 350 gallons per minute. And you can see that they ran it for 45 minutes or so. It never overtopped. It was able to keep up with that flow rate. So, getting about 30 gallons per minute per foot that it's able to filter. And you can see that it captured a lot of the sediment. Only a little bit was able to pass through, and that was the very small particles which was going to get filtered in a pond below that had the core baffles underneath it. So those are the main applications. Again, it can pretty much be used anywhere, any other sediment filtration device is used. Another very important aspect that we took time into considering when we developed this was packaging and how to ship it to people or to job sites. We were able to get 3,200 linear feet of WattleFence into 2 pallets, which is almost the same as a half a truckload of wattles or compost sock, and a whole truckload of core logs. So we're definitely eliminating a lot of the cost involved in transportation. So not only are we saving on the front side by not having the equipment to trench, we also don't have to pay to remove it, and we're going to be spending less on transportation. And we all know that transportation is getting more and more expensive. And then also warehouse space. You know, you can just put a couple pallets in your warehouse and not have to take up a whole bay for, you know, your wattles or your core logs or whatever other system you are currently using. So also the wood slats that are attached to that help to keep the product intact, won't allow it to deform. And so when you're installing it on site, you're always going to have that 9-inch install height. You're never going to have to worry about it not being 9 inches, not meeting the specification. Or you can do 18 inches if you double it up. So here is a video of it being installed. It shows a comparison of what you would need for compost sock versus WattleFence. So that's 200 foot of WattleFence in the back of a pickup truck versus a whole pallet to make 200 foot of compost sock, which you need some kind of large equipment to do. If it was silt fence, you'd also need some kind of equipment to be able to trench in the silt fence. So a lot less equipment. You simply unroll your WattleFence. You take your wood stakes. You can see here he's using that slat to pull against to install the wood stake. You can use any wood stake. This is a 2x2. You can use 1x1s, you know, whatever is applicable for your application. And then he's pulling that tight. So his wood stakes allow you to pull it tight. And then he staples it in, and you come back and just give it one more hit. That allows that WattleFence to make intimate contact with the soil. And then you're going to pin that front apron to allow the sediment to be collected there and won't go underneath it. And you can see there's no sediment coming through, only the water is being filtered through it. So very simple application to install, super easy. Here you can see this is how you connect 2 pieces. You're just simply overlapping, so there's almost no waste in your overlaps as well. And then if you want to go to 18 inches high, you just simply put that filtration section right above your lower filtration section and just allow that front apron to cover the front. So again, we wanted to make this super simple for anyone to install, to take to or even in really remote areas where it's hard to get a product or material back to, or equipment back to. You can just simply pull a pickup truck back there or a gator, and one guy can really install this product very easily. Again, it's 100% biodegradable. Don't have to remove it. Shipping is going to be a lot cheaper. So I hope you guys enjoyed this presentation. If there's any information you need, you can find it at westerngreen.com. We have all the brochures for this product there. Videos on YouTube, or there's links on our website as well. Can also get our contact information at westerngreen.com. We'll be happy to give you pricing or availability, find a local dealer for you. But thank you for watching. Have a great